Tell me what's going on with your Chrysler. We got a 2.4 or a 3.6?
So it's the 2.4 multi-air. It came in with a broken multi-air actuator. One of the solenoid on cylinder one was broken off. So I got a good quality used multi-air. Verified that the actuator was sitting correctly on top of the intake valves. I'm cranking it, and I'm getting VVA low oil pressure, 1523. And it's just cranking, no compression.
So there's no compression on, is there low or no on all cylinders?
There's no compression on any cylinder.
Wow. All right. Oh, really?
And I primed the multi-air blocks. I filled all four of them with top holes. They're completely full of oil. I've taken off the little inspection port on top of the valve cover. While it's cranking, I can see oil spewing out of it. It's got oil pressure in there, but it's giving me a low VVA oil pressure code, no compression.
Okay.
I have no idea what to do next besides...
Right, I gotcha. So here's a case study. Let me just read this to you. Confirm fix, adjusted engine oil level. I'm sure you're saying that you've already checked the oil level and condition, right?
It's a brand new Mopar oil filter, 0W20. It's like right smack dab in the middle of the oil level.
1523 VVA oil pressure low and intermittent no start condition. Check oil level and found no oil on dipstick. On this one, added 3.5 quarts 0W20 and verified proper oil level. Vehicle started right up, cleared code, and test drove. Let me get another one here. Check oil level that the variable valve actuation system will not function correctly. Oh, it will not function correctly if the engine oil is too high or too low. Make sure the engine oil filter is good, OEM spec quality. Check oil pressure, VV oil pressure. So you timed the engine, right? You just replaced this part, is that correct?
So I had to take the entire head off.
You did?
Yeah, I ended up replacing two of the exhaust valves because they were all gunked up.
Okay.
No compression at first on cylinder one. So I took the head off. The exhaust valves were all gunked up, put two new ones in. I took the whole head completely off. I replaced the little torpedo-looking filter.
Yep.
Because it came with the kit. I replaced that, new head gasket, new head bolts. Yeah, and that timing chain was good. Retimed it. Yeah, a little special tool to get the multi-air actuator block on. Put it all on. I'm gonna put one more quart of oil in this thing. It's still right in the middle, but I'm completely up.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea before I tell you to pull it back apart. But let me just read this here, and you probably already know this, but again, we're just going to cover some of the basics here. According to the manufacturer, here are the possible causes for this code. Engine oil low level, engine oil and or filter not meeting OEM specifications, engine oil contaminated, engine oil pressure insufficient or excessively high to multi-air actuators, broken timing belt / bent or broken valves, manifold absolute pressure sensor, for whatever reason, variable valve actuator assembly, or powertrain control module. So, and you're sure the timing marks are correct, is that right?
Yeah, the timing is dead on.
Okay. And you
took this thing completely back apart, took the head off, because I was second guessing myself the first time when I saw no compression, so I ripped it completely back apart.
Yeah.
Took everything, another new head gasket, and let me all the way at the top of the hash marks now. So my tool's reading oil pressure while cranking.
Okay. Go ahead and crank it now that you filled the oil up.
Yeah, I'm cranking now.
Okay. And it says 17, you said?
Let me read data stream. So oil pressure, sensor voltage, and oil pressure switch. Now I put a new oil pressure sensor in it just because I'm getting oil pressure switch comes from that sensor.
I believe so.
So the one, when I'm cranking, it says oil pressure switch false. This one does the same thing. I got 15 psi oil pressure, 1.1 volt. Oil pressure switch still says false.
When you're cranking?
When I'm cranking, yeah.
Let's look here.
That's why I replaced the sensor, but new sensor on there now it's still saying oil pressure switch false. Do you know there's a little sensor on the back of the multi-air actuator? Is that just a temperature sensor? Does it do any other function?
Let's take a look. Is it a 2-wire sensor?
It's a 2-wire sensor, yeah.
Do you know if either of those wires have battery voltage to them?
Either of them right now?
Well, with the key on, if either of those wires have battery voltage or a reference voltage. I be wrong, but I don't think that you did anything wrong. All right, so this is what I found. I want to go ahead and read this to you. All right, so crank, this is a 2015 Chrysler 200C 2.4. Crank no start after vehicle has been sitting for an extended period of time. Little to no compression in all cylinders. So let me read this. Step number 1, remove the spark plugs, disable the fuel system, and crank the engine over in 15 to 20-second intervals. Be careful not to overwork the starter until the compression has been restored. Step number 2, once compression has been restored, the plugs can be reinstalled and the engine should start normally. Here's a tech tip. It says the multi-air engines use oil pressure to open the intake valves, right? We know that. If the vehicle sits for an extended period of time, the oil in the head / multi-air unit can bleed off, causing a loss of valve operation. So you might just need to build back up compression. And you might, if you take like just a couple squirts of oil.
How do you build compression without the spark plugs in it?
So I think this test, what they were doing is they're just basically airing out the cylinders if it was, if it's flooded.
Right. I mean, in the cylinders, I've taken them off there.
Okay.
I had fuel pump off for a long time, so I wasn't pumping fuel into it.
Okay. Have you tried?
The multi-air block has oil coming out of all the little ports on top, including where the little bleeder thing is on the left.
So what you're saying is that it should work properly. It should work.
I don't know why it's saying it has low oil pressure, and I don't even know how it measures that. Where does it measure that from?
That's a good question. I'm gonna have to do some digging on that one. But you said you got about 17 psi of oil pressure while cranking.
Yeah, anywhere 15 to 17 psi oil pressure while cranking. That's what sensor is telling me.
And we haven't verified that actually with an oil pressure gauge, have we?
I haven't thrown my mechanical one on there.
Okay. So it would be a good idea so we can verify that we're actually getting a correct reading. But what I was going to say was if that multi-air, if thing is working fine, but there's still no compression, maybe you just need to rebuild back up compression within the cylinders. So you might probably just drop a couple drops of oil down the cylinders, with spark plugs out, and then crank it over so you can lubricate the cylinders back up, and then put the plugs back in and see if you get compression then.
Okay.
You can try that. And I'll do some more digging here on where you get the oil pressure reading from and why it says, what's the message you're getting?
15, it's code 15P1523.
Okay.
EVA low pressure.
Okay. All right. And I'll do some more digging for you, and if I come across anything more, I'll definitely send it over, okay? And let me know what you find when you run this test.
A little bit of oil down each cylinder, crank it over, with no spark plugs in, put the spark plugs back in, try it again.
You got it.
Okay. If the spark plug's out, it's just going to blow all that.
What's that?
If the spark plugs are out, how can it build compression?
Well, it's not going to when the spark plugs are out. What we're doing is we're some oil down the cylinders. We're going to crank it over, so we're going to lubricate the cylinder walls and get a nice, good coat of oil in there. And obviously, we don't want a lot, just a very little bit. And then put the plugs back in. And then now we got lubricated cylinders, plugs are back in, then we're going to build compression.
Okay.
All right? Let me know. Bye-bye.